So this news story is just incredible. And from all the research that I've been able to do over just a short amount of time, it does seem like it is credible. It was released by Newsweek first, in which they said that they had sources that showed that Russian textbooks in schools were claiming that Donald Trump, in fact, won the 2020 election. However, he only lost because of corruption and collusion by the Democrat Party under Joe Biden. So this is the actual page here and the Russian. Now, of course, I can't read Russian, but this is what's being written about it. The new world history textbook for high schools in Russia quietly informs kids that Donald Trump was denied presidency in 2020 as a result of obvious falsifications by the Democrat Party. The reverse cargo cult is a staple of authoritarian propaganda. Under the cargo cult, the locals of Russia believe that imitating elections will bring about as much prosperity as real elections in Democrat countries. Under the reverse cargo cult, the locals believe that the fact that their own elections are fake means that the elections in democracies are fake as well. So in Russia, they're basically saying it doesn't matter if it's a fake or real election. You're going to be brought about as much prosperity with one or the other, doesn't matter. And now Russia is saying, hey, look at these democracies over there. Their elections aren't as real as they claim to be either. The textbook continues to go on and actually shows this image of a masked Joe Biden. And then it says, from the same Russian school textbook, Joe Biden's entire political career has been accompanied by corruption scandals. He and his family have commercialized interests in Ukraine. This is interesting. I will say this. It does in fact seem like this textbook is legitimate and that students in Russia are learning about the 2020 election in this way, that there is a corrupt president who's in charge of the United States right now named Joe Biden, and his family has been wrapped up in all kinds of things, including corruption in the Ukraine, and Donald Trump should have been the rightful winner of the 2020 election. I will say this, okay? Clearly, our elections are not what they seem to be. Anyone with an open mind who looked at what happened in 2020 with all of those changes that occurred under that pandemic, you know, the rules that they changed and the laws that they changed, which they didn't go through the actual system that they were supposed to, in which people could submit ballots in ways that they weren't allowed to, didn't sign them, you know, they were post-dated, not dated at all. We had so much ballot harvesting happening over months of time, you know, drop-offs in these ballot locations that just seemed shady, people leaving these voting locations. And every single time something was brought up, it was just disregarded no matter what. It doesn't matter. It's like anything. It's like you have fire burning in the city behind you and the reporter tells you everything's fine. It's peaceful, right? It's the same situation. You see video after video, evidence after evidence, problem after problem. And it's just like, they just say, well, where's your evidence? It's like you can show them 1,000 videos. You can show them 1,000,000 images. You can show them data that does not look right. You could show them too many votes in an area that makes no sense. You could show them the ballot harvesting. You show them the drop-off locations. So much can be shown, and they just turn a blind eye to it. But Russia apparently is not. And they are saying, you know, this is a real possibility here that just like here in Russia, where our elections aren't, you know, on the up and up, because clearly I don't think that the elections in Russia are up and up. Don't think that I'm hearing this news story from Russia and I'm thinking like Russia's amazing or something. Like, listen, I ain't going down that rabbit hole. Russia's got some big problems. Putin is a disaster, that guy. But they are willing to at least share some, looks like some pretty interesting information about the United States in their textbooks, whereas our news media will just completely cover for the Biden administration, which actually goes to show you that what they're saying may have some validity to it. When your news media is just a cover for the administration that's in charge, you're basically just Russia and China, because Russia and China have the same thing. Their news medias are just covers for the individuals in charge. The news media in Russia covers for Putin. The news media in China covers for Xi Jinping. The news media in the United States of America covers for Joe Biden and the Democrats. It's the same thing. They don't actually investigate them. They don't do actual, you think the Russian media does actual journalism and investigation into Putin? You think the Chinese media does actual investigation and journalism into Xi Jinping? You think the US media does actual journalism and investigation into Joe Biden? Think about that. Think about it for a second. We're not as far off from those countries as you would like to believe we are, or they would like you to believe we are. And by the way, many in the Republican Party are also in bed with this as well. So you might think that it's just the Democrat Party. It's not. It's completely the Democrat Party. But it is many who are in the Republican Party as well. And I just love that this textbook in Russia is saying this. So of course the news media is going to come out and they're going to call this, whatever, Russian hoax, propaganda. Look at this, Trump, whatever. They'll spin it however they want and they'll say it's conspiracy, everything else, right? And then they'll just bury their head in the sand. What do you all think about this? I thought it was a good one. Leave your comments below. I'd love to see them. I'll catch you in the next video.